would help if I was in roll 20.
I'm gonna go get some water.
Well, it's going to be hard to beat that, Rutherford. Especially since I don't think you roll a d20 for initiative. It's a shame you used up your crit like that.
Oh, the nat 20?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's a d10 plus something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a d10.
It's D10 plus perception, if I'm not mistaken, right?
A d10 plus 3 plus perception bonus.
Yes.
That's it. Thanks.
And I forgot to make a card for Brutus. Well, everyone imagine there's a suspicious person card with Brutus on.
Okay.
Maybe he's too suspicious to get a card.
Brutus, we all know.
By the way, Joe, you have to roll a d10 for your initiative. D10 plus your initiative.
Sorry, I was running around.
Yeah.
All right.
I think Fluff is also AFK. Clear any corruption you may have. Spend any reward points if you didn't do that in between sessions.
Did we lose all of our clues?
The clue turned into a lead, right? So technically you did lose the clues.
I mean, technically,
some
we
of them
already knew that there were creatures in the woods.
Yes, well, that's the lead, right? Now we're working towards the revelation.
Right, that's what I mean, though. Yeah. We already knew there was creatures in the woods. It's not that much of a lead.
No, this is the only lead you got.
Can I choose to save my current reward points?
Yes, you don't have to spend them right now.
Okay, great.
I mean, a creature in the woods is my nemesis.
A creature.
Yeah. So I already knew there's one out there.
So what's happening right now? What's the situation?
Hey Fluff, how's it going? Okay, we'll get started as soon as I get Fluff's initiative roll. D10 plus
Sorry, I'm trying to get on my sheet.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, you know what it was? I forgot to change the clock in my car.
Oh, that always gets you.
What was it again? D10 plus...
It's in the chat.
D10 plus 3 plus your perception bonus.
For you, it looks like a 7. So D10 plus 7.
Thank you.
Nice. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started then.
The turn order doesn't reflect the numbers that we rolled, by the way.
Yeah, I was waiting for Genevieve's roll. Come on. Then I was going to press the button.
Oh, I was going to say, because even mine has the wrong number, and Rasmussen has the wrong number. So I didn't think you put any of them in.
Just, I guess I didn't.
Either that or you're on a different map. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, let's get right back into it. Last week, remember, we traveled to the mine where we attempted to interrogate Brutus, the mine overseer, and he ran into the woods. We then had a chase from a group of beast like men, and they attempted to run you down, but you were able to escape. On return to the town, you went to Matilda's hut for some healing for Alexandre after his glorious last stand, where she is going to bandage you up. But before we get to that, outside of Matilda's hut, as he is still milling around the oxen cart that you guys rented for the day, Rutherford heard the click of a flintlock pistol, and then the silhouette of Elja Hutfield comes into view, and she says, well, Rutherford. Good to see you're in town." Right? She levels her pistol right at you. Joe, what do you do?
I look at her and I say, "We weren't supposed to meet like this."
She says, "Well, that's too bad, Lord Rutherford." And she smiles.
You know, Alja, there's certain things in this town that you and I both know need to go. And I think I can help you. I can pay back what I did to you by helping you get rid of that Ziegenhalt boy.
She cocks an eyebrow at you, and she says, "Well, that's an option. Or I could just burn you for being the witch. Save a lot of trouble in this town."
Well, Alja, inside Matilda's hut is Alexandra and Genevieve, and they might have something to say. Furthermore,
I don't
the
think they will, because, far as I know, I got more say in this town than you do. And if I say you're a dirty, rotten cheat like you is, I think they'll believe me.
I doubt that. I really do. The Lord knows I'm here, as well as his daughter, Carla. If I don't come back, they're gonna know something happened, and they're gonna come to this town, and they're gonna
Attempt
ask.
a hard guile roll, Joe. She seems to get, as you're trying to say, she just like raises her pistol from like maybe less of a threatening position to a ready to fire position, and points it at you and says, "I think you can just go ahead and stop lying now. And I think you and I need to go have a chat, if you understand my meaning, Rutherford. Oh, sorry, my lord."
We don't hear any of this, right? There's no way.
Yeah.
any
How
of us-
far away is she?
She's maybe a few feet. You might hear this if you'd like to make an eavesdrop roll. I'll call it hard if you'd like to, because you're not actively listening for it,
Yeah, of course.
right?
Yeah.
Except for everybody that's in the hut.
Yeah, if you can all may attempt it.
So what'd you say the difficulty was?
Hard.
Hard. Yeah. Might as well try.
We're probably talking to one another. That's why we both got such a close number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense
see.
too.
Yeah, so yeah, you're all kind of oblivious to this, unless you'd like to use that fortune point.
I don't think.
You know what? I think I would like to use a fortune point. One, because I have such a good chance of this, and two, I actively have plans for her, Elja. So it behooves me to actually find out she's right outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boom! Boom! My dear, is that Elja I hear?
Yeah, not a crit. So I don't think you make out the content of the conversation, but you definitely make out the her voice.
Alright, so unless Rutherford wants to do something before I get out the door.
I'm being kidnapped, so that's all you.
Right, but I mean
Yeah,
any,
well,
like, last heroic actions to save yourself before anything happens.
Yeah, like, are you going with her?
Spin kicked the gun out of her hand like Jackie.
That is not advised. That is not advised.
Yeah, what's the challenge rating on that one?
I'm just gonna follow her.
Well, yeah.
Have
Well,
her lead
Elja
me.
is a smuggler, so she has the special ability hands shot first. So it's not advised. Not right. Okay, that's my joke. So you are gonna like follow her, walking with her. She's going to like put a hand on your shoulder, and like she's gonna lead you away from the hut with the gun pointed in between your ribs on your back, right? So if you can kind of picture that, and you turn around the hut when she hears Alexandre call for her from behind. She turns you. Are you like trying to resist, or are you just like going with it?
Can I get a sneak attack?
You can try. Like if you'd like to go into initiative, you may.
She sees Alexandre, and Alexandre sees her, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just keep going along with her.
Okay. Yeah. She turns around and she goes, "Well, Alexandre, I thought that was you walking into Matilda's hut."
Yes, there is grave news indeed that I feel that I must share, but I need not just you, and I'm going to call for Genevieve real quick to come out of the hut with me.
Yeah, Genevieve kind of like pokes her head out and she's like, Alexandra, you shouldn't be walking about. And then she pokes her head and she looks at Elja and she's like, all right, it's sweet Elja. What are you doing here? And then she looks at Alexandra and then she tells him, should we be telling her anything?
Just don't worry about that at the moment. Eloja is already here. I need you to go find Jeb. I need you to go find Jeb, Father
Whoa.
Seneca.
Hold on. Only way I'm finding Jeb.
No, not you. I'm
is if he's at my feet.
talking to the dragoon. I need you to stay here for a moment until everybody else gathers. I know how you feel about Jeb, but I need representatives from each of the major families here, and I feel like you and Jeb are the two that are on level. I need Father Seneca here as well as Anton.
All right.
Maybe you should light that green lantern of yours, Genevieve.
No, don't do that.
Print screen. Print screen. Print screen. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so she's gonna like knit shod and then like quickly go gather people. Where does he want him to be gathered? Like at
Here.
Matilda's hut or like
Yeah.
our town center?
Here, because I mean, I'm probably still getting bandaged up. I've probably just stepped out in the middle of bandaging.
Okay, so she will
Yeah,
go do that.
Matilda's-
she'll grab those people. Or do you want Anton to also be there?
Yeah, that's what I said. Anton, Jeb, and Father Seneca.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll grab those people.
Okay, so you leave. It's going to be a little while. Matilda does not live that close to the village, so it's going to be a little while. But jeez, I'm sorry. Yeah, Elja says, "Well, I got Lord Rutherford here. You mind if I take him for a little chat before we have our meeting, Alexandre?"
I mean, I'd much prefer if you just come inside and wait with all of us inside, because I've still got more bandaging to do, and as you can see, I'm quite hurt, and I feel like it'd be a rather large inconvenience to go have to find you when everybody else is here gathered, when you're already here.
She's like, "Won't be a minute, but why don't you make a charm roll to see if you can get her to, sorry. Why don't you do a charm roll to see if you can get her to come inside now? This will be a routine test. Yes, a routine test. Because she's not so, like, against the idea.
Alright.
She looks at you and she says, "All right, but I'm sure Lord Rutherford here won't mind waiting on a chat. Will you, Lord Rutherford? Sorry, my lordship."
Well, I can't really do much with that goddamn pistol in my ribs now, can I, Elja?
Pistol? I never heard of such a thing. Alexandre, do you see a pistol? And you can't probably see it from where you're at, but like she's clearly standing right behind him, right? Like
Look,
right.
I'm gonna give it an exasperated sigh, like, oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. Oh, God, Emperor. I don't care what you two are doing right now, but you can wait at least, I don't know, 25 minutes until everybody here is gathered. Then you guys can have whatever dirty-ass conversation you want to have. Alright?
She looks at you and she agrees, and but she doesn't drop the gun at Rutherford's like side as they walk in, right? It's not until they get in that she sort of like holsters it like it was never there.
Ah, Lord Rutherford, there you are. I wondered where you had wandered off.
Wander, no. I was having a chat with Elja here.
Miss Elsa. Pleasure to meet you again.
Well, if it isn't Rasmussen, how you doing, friend?
Fantastic. I remain utterly unwounded.
Excellent, excellent. It's always a pleasure to hear that you're doing so well. As she sits down in Matilda's hut. She actually has like a usual spot there. She's often hanging out there. Matilda is busying, yelling at you, Alexandre, because you dared to move while she was bandaging. Speaking of which, let's see how well of a job she did.
You already did that.
I did.
Yeah, I am down to the one above unharmed.
Oh, okay, so you're lightly wounded. Yeah, so she can bandage you again tomorrow. Then.
Yeah. It'd be unfair of me to let you just roll again.
No problem.
We did that at the very end of last session, that's why.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Sorry.
Man, this session's scuffed so far.
It's what so far?
Scuffed?
How so?
Oh, I'm late.
I'm sorry, everyone. So you're all sitting in this in the hut, and Elja takes her normal seat. So sorry, someone had asked a question. Maybe not. Okay. I guess then let's look at Fluff and what she's doing. Fluff, where do you go to first? Do you go get Jeb, Father Seneca, or
Who's the closest?
Jeb and Father Seneca are sorry. Father Seneca and Anton both live like in the village center, so they're rather close. Jeb is a little bit further.
Okay, so I'll probably go to Anton first, and then Father Seneca, and then last Jeb.
Okay. So you approach, and it is late at night. At this point, I believe it is late at night. You knock on the door, and there's no answer. Nobody comes at all.
I knock on the door harder and then yell, "You better answer the door. It's the dragoon of the town. Answer the door."
Still no answer.
Oh God. Is there like a window I can peek into?
Yes, there is.
Oh God. What do I see?
Nothing. It's empty.
That's weird. Does it look like there's nobody there? Like there's no like candle lights on or anything like that?
Nope, not even a lantern.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to where Father Seneca is, and then I'm probably gonna go to like the town bar to see if maybe he's there.
Okay.
So,
The bar, the Lucius is closed up for the evening, right? He's only gonna pretty much serve Alexandre and Rutherford Rasmussen. He's already closed up for the evening. It's so that's already set, like it's closed. But you go to Father Seneca. He's a the small chapel. You walk in and you go to the door of the rectory where he lives, pretty much. And I assume you knock, and maybe like 35 seconds later, old Father Seneca comes and opens the door and stares out, and you go, "Genevieve, my girl, it is so late."
and she's like, yes, it is late. I'm very sorry about that, but time is of the essence, and there's no time that we need to be wasting. You must meet with Alexandra at Matilda's hut now.
Now? So late?
The news that we have to tell you is very important. Very, very important. It cannot wait.
He looks at you and he says, "Genevieve, though I am a member of the church, I will not burn any witches."
She shakes her head and she's like, it has nothing. Well, I can't really explain it, but just it's important. It's for the safety of this village. You have to go and meet with Alexander now.
He looks down and he goes, "Yes, of course. I understand. I will go right away."
And with that, she like rushes out. And she's gonna go find Jeb at that moment. We'll figure out what to do with Anton.
You go to the Ziegenheld farmhouse, right? You know Jeb lives in the main structure. Is that where you go now?
Yes.
You go knock on the structure and swinging open the door. "God blast it, it's late. Who's there?" And you hear the voice of Marcia Ziegenheld.
Miss Deeganhouse, it's me, Genevieve.
"Oh, what are you coming around here for
I need to.
this late? up to some of the devil's work? She's
And she smiles at her and she says, maybe. And she says, don't, there's nothing for you to worry about. I need to speak with your son, Jeb, now.
you know, Jeb ain't here.
Where is he?
I don't know. He's a grown man. He ain't here.
Well, that grown man has to meet with Alexandre now for vital information. So, you have any idea who he could be with?
Ain't my job to keep tracks on that boy.
She smiles. She's like, I suppose since he's a grown man. Do you have any clue?
No. We could send Eb though, and Eb, who's maybe third or fourth son, wakes from the other room, and he comes up smiling. Eb was unfortunately in an accident when he was very young, so he's a little off. He had probably a pretty major concussion.
And then she's like, no, I was just specifically told to ask for Jeb. I'll have to search for him. Thank you for your time. And with that, would I have any idea where these guys are? I don't know.
You?
Yeah.
It would be really hard to tell because really there's like it's not a big village. There's not many places to go.
There's not a lot of places to go, so where could they go? Let's see. Let me look at this. I forgot the town map again. Could I ask around? Is there anybody who I know is up this late?
Few honest people are up this late, right? That's kind of the gist here. Lucius might still be up in his bar because he's probably waiting for Alexandre and Rutherford and Rasmussen.
Mm-hmm.
But who else might be up? Yeah, probably not much. Nobody really else. Maybe old Horseface will be up if you can find it.
Oh, but Horseface doesn't like me. God damn it. And if he's drunk, that's even worse. I'm gonna go to the bar and see if he has any idea where these two young men could be. Young.
Anton's middle-aged-ish. So probably quite old for the village.
Mm-hmm.
But you go in and Lucius is doing he is doing the fantasy bartender. I'm a fantasy bartender, so I'm sitting here cleaning a glass even though nobody is drinking or has ever drank out of this glass ever, right? He's sitting there.
Yeah.
He's sitting there, just taking care of the glass. And when you open the door, first thing he says, Alexandre, that you? Right? He seems worried.
She's like, no, it's me, Genevieve. Sorry.
Oh. Well, you was with Alexandre.
Yeah, he's in Matilda's hut right now. That's not important. Do you know where Anton or Jeb is? Any of those two? What are they doing out here at night? I can't find Anton in his home. I can't find Jeb. What's going
on? He looks at you and says, well, that's right, mighty strange. I don't personally. And he looks around, well, I wouldn't have the faintest idea. That's very odd. Could they be up at your mother's place? Only place I know that would serve booze this late, if that's what they're out doing.
Yeah, narrows her eyes, and she's like, where is on their property?
You got a big old property. May probably be out in the meadery or something. I know some of the young folk like to do.
Kind of like, thanks for the idea. And she like rushes back to the field. And she starts rushing down the ladder to see if she can find them in the
Yeah,
meat area.
so I think we'll fade on you for a minute because it's been quite a while. You've been walking around. Enough time for Father Seneca arrives in Matilda's hut, and I'm not entirely sure what the atmosphere was like in that hut.
And that's when I said, no more selling beef.
Yeah. It's probably fairly tense, despite Alexandra's best efforts. Matilda is probably oblivious and may already be sleeping if you haven't woken her back up. But Father Seneca knocks on the door quite late, and I imagine hears like come in or hears voices, and he just opens the door and says, "Alexandre, what's this about?"
I have quite dire news to inform you and 3 others about, one of which is here. We're still waiting for the other 2, but I do not think this is information which should be told without all hands present.
Oh, no. Something bad, I'm sure. But like I told your runner, Genevieve, I'm not going to be part of burning any witches. I want you to understand that. And he looks at you very he stares at you, and you notice like maybe if Matilda's like woken up, maybe she gets up and sort of smiles at him, and then she goes over and like probably picks up a jar of like pickled frog legs and starts eating.
Worry not, Father. I am not a part of your religion. If I was to burn a witch, I would not need to ask your permission.
He seems content with your answer. And he goes, okay. Well, who else are we waiting for?
Jeb Ziegenhelt and Anton Sicarius.
Well, I imagine they'll be here any minute. Who are these 2? He looks at Rutherford and Rasmussen. Actually, he goes. Sorry. He looks at Rutherford and Rasmussen. And he says, "You 2 are in on this. Seems odd. I mean, my lordship." He looks at Rutherford suspiciously.
Rasmussen will very deliberately wait for Rutherford to speak, and he'll follow his lead.
I have come here on behalf of Lord Thorismund. What I have found is unprecedented in our times. This village is about to explode.
He looks visibly worried. He says, you notice that Elja in the other corner of the room like kind of laughs at that, but he looks worried, and he stares at Rasmussen and you, and he says, "What do you mean?"
Now wait just right there. As I said, there's no reason to be speaking about such matters until all hands are on deck. So we will wait.
Speaking of waiting, it's been some time since you sent Genevieve to retrieve the missing villagers. Anton and who was the other one? No, somebody else.
They're not missing. They're just not here.
Yeah, Father Seneca showed up. We're still missing Anton, and wasn't there somebody else, or is it just Anton we're waiting on?
Jeb.
Jeb, right. So, I mean, it's been some time.
That is a
You can
very
go out
good
and-
note that you're making here, Rasmussen. You are my deputy. Why don't you go out there and see if you can't find the... I will keep Lord Rutherford here company, along with Elja, Father Seneca, and Matilda.
Well, I would be happy to run those errands, but bear in mind it may take me somewhat longer than average given my limitations. That said, if you want me to go out and seek Genevieve, I'll happily do so.
Yes, I think you should go out there and assist, since you've mentioned it's been quite a while. And if they happen to arrive while you're not here, well, you know the situation, so you wouldn't have missed anything.
Very
I
good.
disagree. You
Noted.
should stay here. I order you, as your lord, to stay here.
What a squint.
I see. Very well, my lord. Forgive me, Alexander, but in this particular matter, I must follow the orders of my lord.
Are you sure that you want to do that, Rasmussen?
It's not a matter of what I want. I've sworn my service to Lord Rutherford, and it would be unbecoming of me to ignore his direct command.
I just want to make the evident clear here. When Alexandre says, "Are you sure you want to do that, Rasmussen?" He's giving you the look and the body language of, "I know things aren't right. If you're doing this, you're throwing your lot in with what I think is not right."
Also, as Alexandra gives you that look, Elja pipes in and goes, "Yeah, Rasmussen, why don't you go ahead and look for Genevieve? I'll keep your lord nice and..."
Much as I would like to accommodate everyone's wishes, I will reiterate that I am the sworn servant of Lord Rutherford, and his word supersedes that of all others. That said, I believe I may have a solution. I will simply step outside, directly outside the hut, and fire a shot into the air, followed by my yelling at the top of my lungs for Genevieve to return.
I suggest you don't do that. I, in fact, demand that you not do that.
Well, it was simply a suggestion, a way of accommodating everyone's wishes.
And creating extreme chaos in the surrounding homes and countryside as a shot rings out and somebody shouts for the dragoon.
Yes, maybe you should do that, but make sure instead of firing into the air, you point it at the wall.
At the wall.
Yes, to shoot inside.
The wall of the hut?
Yes.
I think at this moment you see Elja gets very suspicious, and she puts her hand on her
Sorry, she puts her hand on what?
pistol. Right, she's got a pistol belt.
Well, I
Calm
must
down,
say-
Alja. It's just a joke. No one here needs to be shot today. Right, Alexandre?
I feel like Alexandre is just, like, face-palming. This is just all very... I don't know. Stupid is the word that rings a bell.
And with that, we're gonna fade to black, and we're gonna look at Genevieve. As you are running towards the Basque Manor, and it's the first time we see it, and it's actually it's kind of a large compound because there's the family home where you and your family live, and then there's the meadery and the bee yard. What do you call where you keep a lot of bees?
Apiary?
Yeah,
Apiary.
bee barn. I'm not sure.
Isn't it like an
A field.
apiary or something like that?
That's
I can't
what I
quite
said.
recall
I
the
thought
term.
they just leave
Yeah,
those
apiary.
like those bee hives outside. You know, like
Yeah,
in like
it's
these little.
called an
Yeah.
apiary. That was
Yeah,
right
it's
the
called
first
an
time.
apiary. You're close to-
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
of course.
okay.
Yeah, apiary. Cool. I had no idea, but yes, there's a large apiary where all of the Basque family bees are kept. And the first thing you notice when you see your house clearer is that it is entirely decorated in fresh spring flowers, and it is currently fall. The whole thing is done up in arches and everywhere.
Okay.
This is not normal. The arches. And as you are approaching, so if you're approaching, you notice this, and you actually notice that the manor is all the lights are on in the manor,
Mm-hmm.
but there doesn't seem to be anybody there that you can tell from outside. You're still pretty far. What's your next?
How late at night is it?
We're approaching midnight. Yeah.
Okay, is it unusual for the lights in the manor to be on at this late at night?
As lit up as it is, yes. But
Okay,
it's like
so
lit up as if you were having like a party at the manor, like a wedding, and it's decorated like a wedding actually too. Now that I think about it.
okay. So I'm definitely gonna approach the manor.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna approach the manor.
Seems normal. Well, except for all the abnormal things I just pointed out, but nothing jumps out at you.
So I'm gonna enter it and see what's going on.
When you enter, you notice the inside of it is entirely trashed everywhere. The jugs of mead are smashed. Tables have been kicked over and broken. Furniture has been broken. If you look to, because like as soon as you walk in, there's like an entrance, maybe a dining area, and there's like the kitchen on the, I guess, the first floor. It's still not, it's a manor, but you know you're a country manor. It's still not very big. You can pretty much see the whole first floor. Yeah, it's broken. All the lights are on. You immediately smell the meat and the alcohol. But there's nobody here.
Okay. I'm upset. I'm confused. I'm upset. I don't even know what's going on. There's no one there. Like I check every room. There's nobody here.
Not on the bottom floor.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to the second floor.
Wait, you go up and you see the master bedroom door is open, and a jug of mead is like as soon as you hit the top of the stairs, a jug of mead empty is like rolling by. The floor is not perfectly even, right? So it's rolling from the other side, and you look up into the master bedroom, and you see the slumped over figure of your mother on her bed, with a trail of mead coming from her hand.
Okay, so I'm gonna go check on her and see if she's okay. Cause what the heck's going on? Yeah, I race to go check on her.
She's breathing.
Okay. I try to wake her up, shake her. Does she respond in any sort of way?
Not really. You can smell the alcohol very clearly. This is not like your mother at all. Right? This is very unusual.
I'm going to. Is she like passed out? Like, there's no way. She passed out drunk.
You could probably get her startled at some point, yeah.
Okay,
But
so I'm gonna wrap like a blanket around her and then try to get her up. Because I don't feel that she should be in this. Like, it doesn't feel safe. So, I don't want to leave her alone. So I kind of like gently grab her and try to make her walk with me, and she not really try to wake her up too soon. She's just kind of like, because she doesn't know if anybody else is in the house, so she's just kind of quietly making her way out.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. As you, so she starts to gain some consciousness as you make your way out because like you're forcing her to walk. And she croaks out one word, and it's mead? Question mark. Are you still carrying her?
Yeah.
Where are you trying to take her?
I think the inn where Alexander is, because at least somebody's there.
Right, he's yeah. Well, Lucius is there. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Give me a athletics test. Make it challenging. It's very slow going. It takes you a little bit, but you eventually get her there. But we will sort of fade to black on you for a second because now it's been a couple hours. People in the hut, at least, right? Father Seneca has been here for a while, and the tension in the room just like keeps rising. Specifically between Elja and Rutherford.
Yeah, Rasmussen is desperately hoping that he can send a telepathic message to Genevieve to get her ass back here, because these two jokers have put me between a rock and a hard place.
Your telepathic messaging has failed.
Aw. Okay. So like I know the tension in the room is pretty thick. It can be cut with a knife, but at this point, I think Rasmussen is simply going to point out that it's been several hours now. Genevieve or Anton, neither of them have shown up, and Jeb as well, I think, was the other person. And that perhaps as a group, we should head out and find them in case something untoward has begun to occur.
Would I feel like I have any reason to be concerned? In all my time in this village, some 20 years or so, would this concern me?
Yes, she's been gone for a few hours to run to people who should be sleeping in their homes that are maybe like 30 minutes away.
Right, but I know that some of these people aren't exactly what they seem to be, so...
Right, but like what you know of the village, right? Like the normal state of the village, which obviously it's not right now, would be those people would be in their homes sleeping because they have to get up and work tomorrow very early, right? Like in like 5 hours.
I mean, one of them, maybe.
Jeb works hard too.
Does he? That seems like that's the most fantasy element of what you just said.
Yeah, I mean, he like at least is awake to like make sure his goats don't die.
Sorry, just a hard consideration here, because I know the moment we leave this hut, the chances of things going to shit just escalate immediately.
Yes.
I feel like they're already gone to shit, but
No, at the moment they're being held. This is like the rooftop scene in Die Hard, right? Where you have shit, what's his name? Pretending to be American with his fake accent, right? And they both got guns, and one's just waiting to pull the other one. We have a very terse standoff right now. The moment we step outside, anything could happen. And we've got Father Seneca here, and I don't want anything to happen to him.
How old is Father Seneca?
He's old.
Yeah, he's old. He's like an actual old man, so maybe like 60, 70, right? Which is fucking ancient for this.
I still say that our best course of action is to have Rasmussen go out and look for Genevieve.
I'm happy to do so, but only if I get ordered by Lord Rutherford to do the same.
You know what? That is a good idea. And you know what? I'm going to come with you.
And
Wonderful.
Elja steps up and says, I'll go look too. I think it'll be fun. What do you think, Alexandre?
Sorry, I just had a thought. You know what? Rasmussen makes a very good point. If something bad happened, you do need somebody with fair combat experience on their hands. You're right, Elijah. You go with them, and you make sure they come back safe.
She smiles and she goes, Well, Lord Rutherford, after you. Well,
All right. Rasmussen, you watch our backs,
Yes, indeed.
and
And
we'll leave the
I
hut.
will strategically place myself behind both of them, using the excuse of my bum leg to be a little
Yeah.
slower than the rest.
Definitely. As soon as you leave, I want to like fade to black on you guys for a second. We'll come back to you because as soon as you leave, um, Matilda comes over to you, Alexandre, and she looks at you and says, So, those things that did these wounds to you, they look like hoof marks. Tell me, child, were they?
No, I'm pretty sure they were probably horns or antlers, depending.
Probably both, right? Um, she smiles and she says, This is not the first time we've seen this in the village. And Father Seneca looks at her and she looks back at you and she says, Long before even you came, Alexandre. It's not the first time. And then she goes back to eating pickled frog legs.
I mean, it's not the first time I've ever seen such a thing either. Remember,
I'm
I've been alive for a lot longer than you have.
probably, but you've actually, I don't think you've ever encountered these things before. You've heard stories of them, but I don't think you've ever encountered them.
Maybe not encountered, but I've been singing a song about them for a long time.
Yeah, but you sing sad songs about lots of stuff.
Yep. But you have to remember a song to sing it, which means I have this shit committed. I'm not
That's
making it
true.
up.
That's true. That's true. She goes back to popping her frog legs. Do you have any reaction? Like Father Seneca just seems to like look down, like he was thinking about something.
No,
Um,
because I mean, my intention is still to discuss all these matters in front of all these people. So, if anybody has any weigh-in such as that, I would rather that be weighed in when everyone's here. So it's not like, hey, let me tell you this story. Oh, look, they're here. Now let me tell you the story. Oh, now
Yeah.
Jeb is here. Let me tell him the story.
Yep, gotcha. Okay, so let's go back to Genevieve as you bust into the town bar. Right, your mother spills out from your arms. You're absolutely exhausted, and in fact, you're going to take some mental peril from your failed athletics. Take 6 points of mental peril.
Point.
That should move you to imperiled.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Man, all this mental
Yeah.
stress. I always get all this mental stress.
No,
All right.
You pour in, and Lucius pops up, and he goes, "Alexandra, no, Genevieve and Miss Bask. Oh, yes, Mrs. Bask. Miss and Mrs. Bask, he says. He like thinks about it. And he goes, "Oh, what brings you to my staff?"
Something's gone awry in the manor. I need you to look after my mother as I try.
She looks and goes, "Looks like she's had a hell of a night. That doesn't seem very common for Mrs."
Exactly. Is there a safe room I can put her in? I didn't trust her to leave her in the manor. And
Oh, yes, of course. That old witch hunter, Size Boot, had a room. You can put.
Oh, because he rented a room here.
Yeah, of course. There's only one place to stay in town.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna put her there, and I'm gonna like lock the door. Fuck.
Cool. Yeah. What do you do next?
I'm going back to the manor to figure out because I didn't search the. So I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking something up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so while you're walking, you're just like walking, and then in the light of the manor, you see a figure. He's wearing just a dirty cloak, um, and when you start coming, it seems like he hears you. He turns to look at you, and you see a mask that seems to be made of leaves with antlers protruding from it, and he's holding in his hand a sickle, right? A sickle that still looks like has dried blood on it.
Mm-hmm.
And he stares at you, and then he starts to run at you.
Starts to run at me.
Yep.
Okay. Is he holding the weapon looking to strike, or is he just running at me?
He is, and we're actually gonna fade the black on you for just a second.
Oh God.
We're gonna come back to you in just a second. Whatever roll this initiative. The three of you walking, Elja, Elja, Rutherford, and Rasmussen. As soon as you're out of earshot of the hut, Elja turns to Rasmussen and says, "So, you got a pretty good scam you've got coming on here. Old Horseface told me all about it, Rasmussen. But there's a little problem." She looks at you and she says, "This is my town, my territory. And I'm certainly not going to let scum like Rutherford move in on it."
Well, Elja, I think we can come to some kind of an agreement. Because our interests do not cross yours. We have absolutely no interest in bringing in hooch to this town. That's your business, and we're not going to take a penny of it. All we ask is that you stay out of our way, and we'll pay you the same courtesy.
See, I thought about that. If it had just been you, which I had seen, I would have been okay with that. But Rutherford, and she motioned towards him, owes me. He owes me big. So I'm thinking I should get a cut of your scam for letting it go on.
I personally would be open to that, provided that you can help us pull it off.
Well, the first thing I can help you with is not shoot that son of a bitch, Rutherford, and she looks at you, dead on the spot.
I think that's a good opening deal, and I'll sweeten it for you. Feel free to kick him in the shins, but then let it be over until this thing is done.
She mills it over. And you guys are like still walking towards town, just at a really slow pace. But you can see her sort of thinking, the gears turning in her heads. She looks at you and says, well, I guess I could consider it. One kick in the shins, that's all.
Well, we still need him mobile and largely unhurt if we're going to pull this off. So, yeah, get it out of your system this one time, and then we can all get on the same page.
Okay. She stares at you, Rutherford, for a second, and she stops. I don't know if you stop, but she thinks about it. And then she tries to knee you right in the, right in that region as hard as she can.
I said the shins, not the giblets.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and die.